What if your trading bot could read the market the same way institutional traders do, identifying the exact price gaps big money leaves behind and then hunting them down for a profit? That is exactly what the GapRush EA does. And in this video, I'm going to break it all down for you. What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the Ultimate Trading Tools, the channel where we build, test, and distribute professional grade trading tools for professional traders. On this video, I will do a full walkthrough of one of our most powerful expert advisors, the GapRush Expert Advisor, built for MetaTrader 5 platform. This robot is based on smart money concepts, so whether you are new to algorithmic trading or you are already running bots on MetaTrader 5, stay locked in because this one is different. But first, follow these steps for a quick installation on your MetaTrader 5. So, for your chart to look like mine, you have to install this Expert Advisor on the Experts folder. To do that, you will have to download this file, the GapRush Expert Advisor 2026. I will pin the download link on the comment section below this video. So all you have to do is copy this file, then open your MetaTrader 5 on your top left corner, click on File, then click down on Data folder, click on MQL5, then open the Experts folder, and then open the Advisors folder. Now, this is where you paste your Expert Advisor. After you have pasted it here, you can close this. Then on your MetaTrader 5, go to View, then click on Navigator. So right click on this Navigator panel, then click on Refresh. So by doing that, you will have loaded the EA on the MetaTrader 5. So here it is, the GapRush Expert Advisor 2026 with 6 months trial. So to attach it to the chart, you just have to open the chart that you want to run the EA on, then double click on the file, then on the inputs, this is where you get all your settings, which I will come back later to explain what each and every input does here. So after doing that, all you have to do is click OK. So you can see the GapRush EA has attached on the Euro USD chart, and you can see the bearish fair value gaps and the bullish fair value gaps. That's all you need to install the GapRush Expert Advisor on your MetaTrader 5. Before I talk about the EA itself, you need to understand the concept behind it, the fair value gaps and the inverse fair value gaps. A fair value gap, or FVG, is created when price moves so fast in one direction that it leaves an imbalance, like it has been shown here on this chart. Price moved very fast and it left these bullish fair value gaps, so meaning this is an imbalance or a gap between 3 consecutive candlesticks. So the middle candlestick body is so strong that the high of the first candle and the low of the third candle don't overlap. Now, an inverse fair value gap is what happens when price comes back into that zone from the outside. Instead of the fair value gap acting as a continuation zone, price breaks through and retests the opposite edge, flipping the zone's role. So that's why our Expert Advisor executed a buy trade on this bullish fair value gap. In the same case for a bearish fair value gap, like on these bearish fair value gaps, when price comes back to these bearish fair value gaps, the EA execute sell trades. This is a concept smart money traders use to identify high probability reversal and continuation entries because the gaps represent areas where institutions left unfilled orders. The GapRush EA automates the entire process, detecting these gaps and drawing them on your chart in real time, and executing trades when the conditions are met. There is a minimum gap size filter controlled by the minimum point boost on the input settings. This one here. So the EA only tracks significant gaps and filters out tiny noise. This setting has been set to trade on the gold asset only. You can adjust for other assets. We have already established that the fair value gap is drawn as an outline only rectangle on the charts. Green for bullish and red for bearish. The zone extends 10 bars to track whether price will return to it. Here is where the inverse fair value gap magic happens. A buy entry happens when price drops below the low edge of a bullish fair value gap. The EA interprets this as an inverse fair value gap retest, and that is why it enters a buy trade. A sell entry happens when price pushes above the high edge of a bearish fair value gap. The EA interprets this as a fair value gap retest, and that is why it enters a sell trade. The EA doesn't just fire trades on any fair value gap. It runs through a checklist. For example, is the high time frame bias aligned? The 1 hour and the 4 hour EMA trend must confirm direction. The second checklist is that, is the session active? This is an optional setting. You can set the EA to trade during only a certain market session, for example, the New York session alone, which might give you few trades. The third checklist is it the right day of the week? You can choose to avoid trading on certain days of the week, like Fridays. The fourth checklist is, does the fair value gap meet the minimum gap size? So those are the four main checklists the EA must confirm before executing a trade. Only when all these conditions pass does the EA place the trades. Once in a trade, the EA manages it with stop loss and take profit, either fixed distance in points or dynamic using the fair value gap zone size. Trailing stop, it activates once the trade is in sufficient profit and follows price. And end of day close, it automatically closes all open trades at the end of each trading day. Now let's go through every input in the EA so you know exactly how to configure it. The first one is this fixed lot size here. It's set to 0.01 in default. This is the trade volume per order. Start small, especially on gold, as it's a high value instrument. Scale up only when you have verified performance on your broker. Next is stop loss and take profit. It has been set to use the fixed levels by default. So when enabled, the EA uses stop loss and take profit distances as follows. For the stop loss distance, it has been set to 2000 points. That is like 200 pips on gold. And for the take profit, it has been set to 3000 points. That's like 300 pips on gold, which are customizable. So if you disable the fixed levels, the EA falls back to the dynamic levels based on the fair value gap zone size. The stop loss goes beyond the zone boundary, and the take profit targets the opposite edge of the gap. The next is this trailing stop. You can choose to enable it by choosing true or false. So this activates automatic trailing stop management. So the trail start points have been set to 800 by default. This means that the trail kicks in once you are 80 pips in profit. And the trail distance points has been set to 400. This means it keeps the stop loss 40 pips behind the current price. This protects gains and lets the winning trades run as far as the market will take them. Next is this higher time frame bias. Make sure it has been set to true. This is a trend confirmation system using a 50-period EMA on higher time frame. The bias is bullish when the price is above the rising EMA and bearish when price is below the falling EMA. The EMA period for bias has been set to 50 by default, which can be customized. The next important input is this 1 hour and 4 hour alignment. When enabled, both the 1 hour and the 4 hours must agree on the direction before a trade is allowed. By setting it to false, you only allow the 4 hour time frame alone to decide. For the gold asset, you can leave this input to true. The next input is restrict entry time frame to 5 minutes or 15 minutes only. When it is set to true, the EA only execute entries when the chart is on 15 or 5 minutes time frame. This is ideal if you want to pair the EA with a lower time frame execution chart, while using 1 hour for the fair value gap detection. For gold asset, it is set to false. The next setting is end of day close. This automatically closes all open trades at the end of the trading day. This prevents holding trades overnight, and it is very important for gold asset. The next setting is the gap size filter, currently set to 30. The base minimum fair value gap size is 100 points. With 30% boost, the effective minimum becomes 130 points. This filters out weak, insignificant gaps on gold assets. You can increase the value on volatile instruments to focus on only the largest, most important gaps. The next setting is the session filter. It has been set to false by default, but when enabled, the EA will only place trades during the configured trading window, either during the Asian session, the London session, or the New York session. It has been configured to match your broker's server time. The last setting is the day of the week filter. You can enable or disable trading on specific days of the week. This lets you avoid low liquidity days or news-heavy sessions depending on your strategy. This EA has been tested and optimized on gold asset 1 hour time frame. I have been running it since December 2025, and these are the results so far. It has generated a profit of $214 using 0.01 lots. Gold is the ideal for this strategy because it has high volatility, which creates clear, well-defined fair value gap zones. You can run the EA on any ECN low spread brokers. I will leave my best brokers on this video's description down below. While the EA can technically be attached to other instruments like forex pairs, indices, commodities, or derived instruments, backtesting and live optimization has only been done on gold asset, so proceed with caution on other markets and always forward test before going live. And that is the full breakdown of the GapRush Expert Advisor, a smart money powered multi-filter gold trading robot built for MetaTrader 5. If you found this video useful, smash that like button, subscribe to Ultimate Trading Tools channel, drop a comment below. Your feedback is much appreciated. Links to get your copy are in the description. See you in the next video. I am out. Peace.